This week on Indiana Wine, I get bit by a snake, I catch 4 moles, and we finally start collecting data on the grapes. Good morning. It is May 20th, week 3, beginning of week 3. Notice I had in my hand a new little toy, moisture meter. I thought it might be a good idea to have this, just so when it gets dry I can kind of quickly check on whether these things need some water. We'll do a quick look-see at how they're doing. Oh yeah, look at that. This first Chardonnay's got leaves now. That's pretty cool. Also got a little bug in there. Awesome. In fact, that's not even where that leaf is not even the original bud I thought it had. That's cool. Here's the Marquette that is just kicking ass. Look at all those leaves. It's awesome. It is really growing fast. And then here's the South grapes. Had a bunch of geese and baby geese up here this morning, so it's probably good to keep these blue things on here for a long time, as long as possible. Look at that. Look at all those leaves. And this one actually, it's got more leaves, but a little smaller than the Chardonnay up there. So anyway, everything's looking good. Kind of want to check this because this week's supposed to be kind of a dry week. So let's see how this thing works. I think you just stick it in there and it tells you if it's moist. So we'll just take a quick peek. And then it resets. We'll check. Okay. Interesting. So these two, as kind of expected, have slightly drier soil than down there. And we talked about that when we planted, because down there obviously is closer to the water and the soil is a little bit different. There's a little bit more clay in it. It's actually the driest, which is interesting, and it's been the best performing one. This isn't really wine related, but I'm gonna take care of this mole problem, because as you can see, he is destroying my backyard, and it's getting pretty irritating. And I definitely don't want him to do damage to the grapes at any time. So I am kinda gonna try to take care of it. I don't think he's over here because this stuff is all crunchy. I'm smashing it down. But I do think he might be up top. Anyway, got this nice scissor trap that might change his mind about screwing up my backyard. All right, quick update. Caught the mole. It is 1:20, so only a few hours after I set this trap, got him. So there goes that. Mole update. Turns out there were 2. All right, well, That's 3 moles. Okay, it is Wednesday the 22nd at 8:30 in the morning. I'm gonna do an update. Hasn't rained in the last couple of days. This is the North Chardonnay. Try to get that to focus down there. It doesn't look like it wants to. There we go. Okay, North Chardonnay. And just for reference, North Chardonnay, North Marquette, South Chardonnay, South Marquette. That's kind of the way I'm thinking about them. So when you see in the data sheets them labeled that way, this is the way that's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna also measure the moisture again. So stick this. So here we go. Dry. So let's go to the Marquette. Look at this thing. This thing's going absolutely wild. It's gonna be, it's like a 6-inch vine on it already, right over here. So that one was dry. I'm not sticking this in the same hole on purpose, so. Well, okay. Not going in there. Holy crap. I would say that this soil is pretty hard. Dry. Golly. Okay. Alright, South Marquette. As you can see, quite a few leaves. Looking good. Moisture. Still wet. Hasn't rained in a couple of days, basically since Monday, when I originally measured, and it hasn't gone down at all when you get down there. Those two have dried. And then here's the South Chardonnay. This is actually, I mean, it's got quite a few leaves, but try to focus. Here we are. It's got quite a few leaves, but they're pretty small right now. So. Wet. So, that's pretty interesting. And like I said, I kind of thought that would be the case down here with the more clay in the soil and a little bit closer to the water, which is clearing up nicely.
Oh my gosh.
Ow, bit me.
It bit you?
Yeah. Good morning. It is Friday the 24th. Got a bunch of geese and baby geese in the yard. Thought I'd take a look at that. Let's see. I don't know how many there are, but there's quite a few. Ooh. So, it has not rained at all this week. And I've checked the moisture 3 times. I checked it on Monday, Wednesday, and now I'm going to check it again on Friday. These two were dry. They were like a 3 on Wednesday after being about a 5 on Monday. So that's a pretty big drop. And like I said, it hasn't rained yet this week. So I'm guessing they're even drier, but we'll find out. And then those two have been at a 9 all week. So first thing to do is test this bad boy out. And I've decided with these that I may go ahead and not water these at all. I think it's supposed to rain. Gee whiz, soil is Tough. Okay, I've decided to let these ones be dry. So there we go. It is at a 4. And guys, basically, I mean, this is kind of fundamentally the test: is this soil up here produce better grapes than the soil down there? Jeez, yeah, it's hard to get this thing in the ground. It is like concrete. There we go. There. Jeez. So, like I said, fundamentally, the test is basically, these aren't even moving, is basically to get some knowledge about whether the soil down here is better or up there. So what I've decided to do is then also test. All right, so they're drying out a little bit. If the dryness of the soil itself also has an impact. Now this went right in. This sucker is always wet. 9 again. So this pretty much, no matter what, has been staying wet according to the meter, which makes sense. It's the most dense clay soil. This is kind of a second place in terms of moisture, and then those guys are pretty dry. So anyway, that's the Friday update. I'm putting this data into a spreadsheet, and I will share that to you next. Okay, time for the week 3 recap. This, what you're looking at, is the data collection sheet, the start of it. Obviously you can see I've only collected soil moisture data, but I hope in time to add more tabs and start tracking other data. But for now, first thing to track, which is the easiest thing to track, I suppose, is the soil moisture. And so you can see the North Marquette this week, its average was 4 out of 10. North Chardonnay, 5. South Marquette, 8. South Chardonnay, 9. And it'll be interesting to see how this data correlates with a number of things. I think growth pace between the different types, like North Marquette versus South Marquette, right? If the different soil moisture makes one of them produce faster. Same thing with the Chardonnays. It will also be interesting to see if North versus South makes a difference on account of there is a dramatic difference in the soil moisture content in those two locations, which again, that was kind of the idea. And then it will also be interesting to see, and this will be kind of subjective, but which grape overall does the best given its moisture content, its soil moisture. So those things will be kind of what we'll be able to track while tracking the soil moisture data. So this past week has been pretty good. We know all the grapes are growing. They've got leaves, and we're now tracking data. I got bit by a snake, and I caught 3 moles. So pretty productive week on the grape farm. I've kind of committed to letting the grapes grow without much intervention. And by that I mean watering. Because the South grapes have been maintaining moisture in their soil pretty well, I'm going to kind of ignore them. The North grapes, I'm not sure what to do there. I probably should water them when they get to a certain dryness, but I really think it would be useful to test kind of letting them get to an extreme state in terms of dryness in the soil. So we'll see what I end up doing. I'm pretty committed to letting them just operate as is, letting them grow naturally with the rain and not trying to intervene too much, because I really do want to see how that impacts them. I'm not too worried about that killing any of the vines because I will be looking at these every day. So if something does look bad, like it's dying, obviously I will water it. I don't want it to die, but that's kind of what we'll see. We'll just kind of take the risk and see how close to the edge we can get. I do know that this part of the year we still rain a decent amount in the summer, but towards the end of the summer things will tend to get a lot drier. So we'll see weeks and consecutive weeks without rain, most likely towards the end of the summer. Right now, we're getting rain about every week, and like the next week we'll have rain several days out of the week, and some weeks we'll have rain every day. So we should be fine. Other than that, I'm still trying to come up with ideas for more data to collect, because obviously I want to track tons and tons of data if I can, just because any data that I collect now in the future when making wine, especially with these grapes, it'll be interesting to see how this data correlates with different things with the wine, whether that's a negative or a positive outcome with the wine, taste or look, anything. So anyway, that is week 3. If you like the video, subscribe and leave it a like. That helps. And I'll see you in week 4.